Part 346. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 3451. Call. Fang Fan's spirit then exhaled a foul breath. Then he entered Chu Ceci's sea of consciousness. Chu Ceci's soul is already waiting in his sea of consciousness. The seed of God is in your soul. The method of this disaster God is really superb. Later, we will blend together. Fang Fan looked at Chu Ceci's spirit, and then his face became straight. Chu Ceci nodded, her eyes full of determination. Now she has put all her energy into Fang Fan. As for the others, she no longer wanted to think about them. Fang Fan's soul touched Chu Ceci's. At that moment, an endless sense of comfort struck. The feeling of soul-soul fusion cannot be expressed clearly in a few words. This state lasts for several hours. Fang Fan sank into Chu Ceci's mind. Chu Ceci sank into Fang Fan's mind. That mysterious feeling cannot be expressed clearly in a few words. A few hours later, Fang Fan regained a little bit of self-awareness. Call. I almost fell into it. Fang Fan regained his strength, and immediately moved in Chu Ceci's spirit. In every corner of Chu Ceci's mind, investigate to the end. The head doesn't have. There is no. There is no. The buttocks don't have. No legs either. Hiding here. Almost missed it. Fang Fan's face froze, his expression became solemn, and then he gathered all the strength in his body, began to search carefully, and finally found the location of the God Seed. When Fang Fan wanted to scratch the God Seed, the God Seed trembled suddenly, and then wanted to flee towards the surroundings. Hee. Now I want to escape. It's a bit late. There was a sneer on Fang Fan's face, and then the energy gathered all over his body, and he clasped his hands together, and grabbed him instantly. The God Seed is like a watermelon seed, small but nimble. In an instant, the seeds of God began to accumulate in Fang Fan's soul. This little thing is really powerful. Fang Fan's soul was full of pain. Back. Fang Fan snorted secretly, and then directly controlled his soul to enter his sea of consciousness. In an instant, the system sound followed. Ding. Virus invasion detected in the host body. Ding. The system's automatic antivirus program has started. Ding. Antivirus in progress. In an instant, in Fang Fan's sea of consciousness, that huge familiar sun appeared. As the sun rose into the sky, the seeds of God began to burst little by little. There seemed to be a hint of roaring invisibly. When the God Seed exploded completely, a surge of energy was suddenly released inside. The energy gathered together and suddenly turned into a weird human face. It has extremely long ears and a very big nose. The face is very special. You dare to destroy the divine seed of this God. Roll. 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 The human face suddenly began to make a sound, and layers of law power were transmitted from the surroundings. It's just that the power of these laws was dissipated by the huge sun hanging in the air before it reached Fang Fan. Really? These true gods leave so-called inheritances with a purpose. From the beginning, it was not simple. If you really let this God Seed take root and germinate, it will be completely over. Fang Fan's eyeballs rolled, and his eyes were raised up. But luckily it's all over now. Under the sunshine of the sun, this weird human face is also dissipating bit by bit. The god of Dur is wandering around in the small world of Shushan Pavilion. The more he wobbled, the more shocked he felt. The space here. It's so big. The rules are so perfect. It's not a single ethnic group. 100 clans have been established. The various ethnic groups are constantly fighting each other, and sometimes they form alliances to fight. Together we are developing benignly. Isn't this the real world? If it continues to evolve as it is, it can exist as a brand new interface. Compared with the kingdom of God I created before, it is far, far worse. How on earth did he do it? Is this the ability of the son of luck? The god of Dur was wandering around, and then couldn't help but observe carefully in it. Practitioners of various ethnic groups saw the purple-red fireworks swaying in the air, and couldn't help running over, trying to catch the weird fireworks. Quick, look. Over there again. This purple-red firework must be a rare fire. But why didn't I see it on the alien fire list? It doesn't matter, let's grab it first. Do not run. This strange fire is mine. Practitioners of all ethnic groups chased the purple-red fireworks, as if they regarded the purple-red fireworks where the god of Dur was located as a strange fire. In this world, the different fire is a very unique flame. If one kind of different fire can be fused, not only the speed of cultivation will be greatly improved, but also the refining of pills and weapons will be greatly enhanced. The god of Dur controlled the purple flames to float in the air, making comprehensive observations of these people around him from time to time. The more you observe, the more treacherous it becomes. It's different, it's really different. All have independent wisdom. They're all individuals. How did you do it? Creating life is not difficult. For a true God, giving life is easy. But it's too difficult to create a unique soul. The god of Dur murmured to himself, the cultivators in the kingdom of God he established before were basically foolish. As soon as he thought of this, the god of Dur thought more. What is so unique about this world? That person has more secrets. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3452. The person in the words of God of Dur is naturally Fang Fan. He paced back and forth, becoming more and more agitated. At this moment, he felt a sense of suffocation. I always feel that staying in this place makes my breathing difficult. Slowly, thoughts gathered here, only thinking about the moment of silence. Does he still have a chance to fight back and take Fang Fan away? What is his future destiny and path? Could it be, are you going to be a god slave for the rest of your life? God of Dur thinks a lot. There is unwillingness, and the urge to give up resistance. All kinds of complicated emotions gathered in my heart, and slowly, I didn't want to say anything more. Shushan Pavilion small world, a thatched cottage. Fang Fan was the first to wake up. Then Chu Sisi also woke up. On the ground, it was already a mess. Chu Sisi's ears instantly turned crimson. She rolled her eyes, and her body trembled slightly. Then he clenched his small fist and couldn't help but smash it down on Fang Fan's chest. You are necrotic. You're nothing. It's all you. Bad guys. Chu Sisi smashed her fist, Fang Fan readily accepted. Anyway, quite comfortable. The perfect ketone body is in front of you. Plus the unique smell that comes out of the air. Gradually, everything becomes different. Everything will follow suit. How to say? Hours later. Fang Fan kissed Chu Sisi's red lips silently, with infinite love and affection in his heart. The spirit has been suppressed for too long lately. It feels very good to suddenly have a chance to release it. Invisibly, the whole thinking followed. You didn't take protective measures. Will I have a baby? Chu Sisi blinked, hugged Fang Fan's tough waist, and asked excitedly. This. Maybe. But in fact, after reaching the sanctuary realm, it is not so easy to have children. It may take 100 years or even 1,000 years to go to sleep before I have a chance to have a child. Where is this? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then a wicked smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. You. Why didn't I realize you were so indecisive before? I really don't know how Xiangfei fell in love with you bastard. Chu Sisi rubbed against Fang Fan's arms, found a more comfortable position to snuggle up to, and then snorted coquettishly. Why did it involve Xiangfei again? What? You don't like me? Fang Fan leaned close to Chu Sisi's ear and whispered softly. Chu Sisi clenched her little head towards Fang Fan's arms as if getting an electric shock. Humph. After several hours of tenderness, Fang Fan and Chu Sisi put on their clothes and walked out of the thatched hut. Fang Fan had a clear idea, and immediately came to the side of the god of Duer. Owner. The god of Duer was just in deep thought, and at this moment he suddenly saw Fang Fan coming and was slapped down, and his purple-red fireworks body trembled. Master, have you helped mistress take out the god seed? Seeing Fang Fan and Chu Sisi looking calm and composed, the god of Duer couldn't help asking. Fang Fan nodded silently, there is nothing to say. Hiss. The god of Duer took a breath in his heart, and the body of the flame trembled a little at this moment. Really? What the master wants to do cannot possibly fail. Although it hasn't been long with Fang Fan, but slowly, the god of Duer has come to some established conclusions. At this moment, his desire to fight back is becoming weaker and weaker. Because he felt that to take away a child of luck was to commit suicide. How? What insights do you have after wandering around in this small world? Hee, but it's okay to say, just say whatever you want. Fang Fan smiled silently, raised his eyebrows slightly, and looked very indifferent. Master's small world is perfectly constructed. Even in those small worlds of true gods, I am afraid that few of them can compare with you. Master, how did you do it? Your spiritual power is logically unable to supply the entire small world. Such a small world, it takes a lot of energy to run it. At least until the pseudo-god realm has this spare power. The god of Duer pondered, and while speaking, his face could not help showing a pensive look. Anyway, I still feel very strange at the moment. Just, like I don't understand. Hee. In addition to relying on the supply of spiritual power to run the small world, there are actually many other ways. In fact, generally speaking, this small world often provides me with some spiritual power. At present, they are completely self-sufficient, and even on the basis of self-sufficiency, they will feed back energy to me. Fang Fan nodded, then said calmly. The god of Duer stopped talking, and was so shocked that he couldn't speak at the moment. Self-sufficient. Can you feed back? And this good thing? In the worldview of god of Duer, these are all things that exist in legends. Really, weird. Master, Guofiran. Master, can you tell me the truth? Are you the reincarnation of a god king? Or is it the male god that the goddess of fortune admires? Or, the illegitimate son of the creator god? The flame body of the god of Duer moved up and down, and then let out a wave of emotion. Fang Fan. It's this rhetoric again. He's tired of hearing it. Many people have said so. But he has a hammer relationship. Maybe she really slept with Lady Luck in her previous life? But what happened in the previous life has a hammer relationship with this life. You think too much. Let's go, let's explore this small world together. Fang Fan smiled slightly, then took Chu Sisi's hand, and walked in front of him with the God of Era. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3453. This small world is getting better and better now. Many internal rules are also being comprehensively improved. That's great. Fang Fan glanced around, then nodded silently, feeling the impact of the strong world power around him. he couldn't help showing more smiles on his face. Such a gesture is quite appropriate. Actually, if I can stay here forever. It's also very good. This is like a paradise. Fang Fan, otherwise, or else we will stay here in the future. I don't want to go to the outside world. It doesn't make sense at all. Chu Ceci blinked, and while talking, her face gradually showed anticipation. Of course, Fang Fan also knew that she said this on the spur of the moment, it could not be taken seriously, and it was too much to count. It's good to be clear about these things. If one day the merits and virtues are consummated, you can indeed choose to take a trip in this paradise. In many cases, the plain is the truth. The god of Dura just stayed aside, not speaking, his flame body jumped from time to time, as if showing his unique mood swings. It is more than words. After staying in the small world of Shushan Pavilion for a few days, it can be regarded as a trip to the mountains and rivers. It's quite pleasant. Because of the existence of 10 times the speed of time, less than a day has actually passed outside. Among the cultivators, everyone is still in full cultivation with excitement. Boy Fang Fan. I go. Your boy is finally out. I've been looking for you for hours. Really, where are you fooling around? Not long after Fang Fan returned to the big world, he heard Bai Piao babbling there. What's wrong? It's such a rush. Fang Fan glanced at Bai Piao, quite speechless. Call. That matter is settled. That kid Zhao Wei is indeed in the City of Light. More importantly, Tianlan Chamber of Commerce wants to set up a branch in Guangming God City, so the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce also came. That president is Zhao Wei's father. That kid Zhao Wei said that he can see his father anytime. As long as it involves buying and selling, he can handle it in minutes. Fang Fan boy. Tisk, what's this called? It's so easy to find nowhere to go through the iron shoes. Cool. Our god bones can be shipped. And this time I will definitely be able to earn a wave of blood. Fang Fan, you really got it? Bai Piao rubbed his hands together, and while talking, the excitement on his face was beyond words. If these divine bones cannot be removed, they are just a pile of bones after all. Even if I use it to comprehend the laws of the gods in the bones of the gods, I don't need so much. The excess must be cleaned out. At this moment, this is the most important thing. As for the other ones that are there or not, it really doesn't matter that much. Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. With so much goods, only an existence like the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce can afford it. Let's go to Zhao Wei, and then go to his father. It's safer to go this way. Zhao Wei looks dumb, but he has a pure nature. Fang Fan nodded, and then made an evaluation in his heart. Yeah, that's what I thought at first. Zhao Wei is quite reliable. Hey. Boy Fang Fan, look, this time it's all the shipping channels I help to contact. I have to work hard if I don't have any credit, right? Why don't you give me 10%? I only want 10%. Bai Piao rolled his eyeballs, and his eyes flicked along. When he was picking up the god bones before, because he was hit by the natural disaster and man-made disaster of the disaster hammer, he was very unlucky at that time. Naturally, the god bones he picked up were the least, and even the quality was the worst. Even with the portion of Chu Ceci that Fang Fan promised to give him, this guy's profit is only about 2% of the total amount of the bone. Among them, the one who made the biggest profit was naturally Fang Fan. Because the 100 people in the Disaster God's underground palace at that time, except for Bai Piao Zhou and a few people, the rest were heroes and legion soldiers under Fang Fan's command. With this level of relationship, in fact, many things gradually became clear. This guy Bai Piao wants to ask for 10%, it can be said that the lion has opened his mouth. According to preliminary estimates, These divine bones are worth 10 to 20 million high-grade star cores, and one achievement is 10 to 2 million. 5 points at most. Don't think too much. You have to give yourself some leeway. If you have too many star cores on your body, you won't have any desire to seize the star cores in the future. So you have to pay attention now, and control the speed of your star core. Speaking of which, how many star cores have you accumulated in your little treasury? Or lend it to me first, and I'll give you 1 cent interest a year. Put your star core here, and it will double in 10 years. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and while talking, the corners of his mouth raised silently, and the brilliance in his eyes gathered in all directions. In a few words, it is the purest and most calm gesture. That's all for now, there is no need to say more. I understand everything. Bai Biao was stunned for a moment, then quickly shook his head like a rattle. Boy Fang Fan, are you bullying me again? You boy, you are not a thing. Shameless. You are too shameless. Bai Biao gritted her teeth and couldn't help rolling her eyes. You just want to prostitute my hard-earned star core. Why? Fang Fan boy, do you think you can bear it? You will have tens of millions of high-grade star cores in your account soon, and you will become a multi-millionaire soon, and you are still telling me this. Bai Biao twitched his lips, and couldn't help complaining crazily while speaking. Now the trust between Bai Biao and Fang Fan on the star core is basically zero. The two are cheating on each other. Why do you two quarrel as soon as you meet? And so noisy and gentle. Is there any emotion between you, beyond friendship? Chu Sisi hugged Fang Fan's arm, and couldn't help tilting her head while speaking, with a curious look on her face. What an emotion beyond friendship. That said, he is simply a good guy. What nonsense. What are you thinking about in your little brain? The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, and he couldn't help but lift up and pat Chu Sisi on the head. Of course, Fang Fan didn't use any force, so this picture looks quite intimate. Grass. I really didn't notice just now. Your relationship is already in place. Fang Fan boy, the time you disappeared will not be with President Chu. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3454. Bai Biao's expression gradually became lewd. The more you talk, the more energetic you are. How to say? Although not in the middle, it is not far away. Bai Biao's blind guesses are still very powerful. Basically, you can restore what happened at that time. Many things are also fully established. What nonsense are you talking about? Chu Sisi couldn't help but dodge her eyes, looking a little guilty. Fang Fan was expressionless, and then he sighed secretly. If Chu Sisi hadn't spoken just now, Bai Biao would have passed by muttering a few words, and this guy likes to talk nonsense. But Chu Sisi's gesture made Bai Biao find something to talk about. As Fang Fan expected, Bai Biao's eyes suddenly lit up at this moment, and his body couldn't help twitching, looking extremely excited. Is that really the case? Everything is pretty much as I expected. Boy Fang Fan, you are so comfortable these days. My envoy is working hard to sell things outside, and you are enjoying life with your sister in your arms. It's not fair. This is too unfair. Boy Fang Fan. Fang Fan had seen Bai Biao's noise before. At this moment, Fang Fan's eyes gradually drifted away. Anyway, at this time, try not to listen to these things. Really noisy to the extreme. I can't hold on, I really can't hold on. Now this brain hurts a lot. The mentality collapsed here, and I didn't say anything. Okay. You can shut up. Let's go to Zhao Wei. Then go to President Zhao of the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce to discuss the matter of Shenggu. Fang Fan rubbed his painful head, and then said with no expression. Fang Fan, don't you need to inform my uncle? It's not a trivial matter after all. Chu Ceci looked more stable. Need not. Since he is the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, he doesn't even have this pattern. If I'm really in danger, I have a way to get out. This time I will go personally. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and then became slightly excited. After dumping this wave of divine bones, all the major legions under his command can take advantage of this opportunity to explode. I will go with you. I protect you. Chu Ceci held her head high and said proudly. Fang Fan smiled slightly and didn't refuse, let's just stay together. Even if this trip can't dump all the god bones, it should still be no problem to ensure safety. Don't get bored. Can you take care of other people's emotions? It's been warm for so long, isn't it warm enough? Bai Piao rolled his eyes, and then couldn't help complaining from the side. What is going on here? Too difficult. Fang Fan took Chu Ceci's hand and walked in front, gradually accelerating towards the temporary branch of the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce in the Bright God City. Just as he was about to leave the door, a familiar figure stepped forward. Instructor Murong. When Bai Piao saw the person coming, his eyes lit up immediately, and he seemed a little excited. This wave is amazing. Excitement burst out completely. Good guy. We can see a good show. Fight. Fight. Bai Piao looked back and forth at Chu Ceci and Murong several times, and then said excitedly. Bai Piao has now evolved into a melon-eating crowd with no emotions. Sister Murong. Chu Ceci immediately withdrew her hand from Fang Fan's, then stepped forward and looked at Murong with a smile. In the past, Chu Ceci would definitely call Murong the mentor of Murong, but the relationship is really different now. Calling Sister Murong is actually from Fang Fan's point of view. Fang Fan stood where he was, subconsciously touched his nose. The scene seemed a bit awkward for a while. Hello, Sister Ceci. Murong burst into a smile, and immediately said hello. Immediately, Murong focused his eyes on Fang Fan, couldn't help but step forward, stretched out his hand and pinched Fang Fan's waist viciously. Husband is really amazing. I haven't seen you for a few days. You found me another sister. It's very strong. Murong ground his teeth, couldn't help but rolled his eyes and said. This bastard is good at everything, but his control in this aspect is too poor. Speaking of which, it was Murong who brought Fang Fan to Guangming Academy. After that, many things became obvious. Ever since Fang Fan established a relationship with Murong, Xiao Liyulai, Xiangfei, Lu Jiyi followed. Now add another Chu Ceci. They are young and beautiful one by one. This bastard has really good eyesight. Feeling the pain from his waist, Fang Fan gave a wry smile, and could only hold on at this moment. Are you going out? Murong glanced around, and then asked. I have something to do with going to Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. Fang Fan didn't hide anything, and immediately said directly. It's not very safe outside now. You'd better, be careful. The city guards of Guangming God City seem to be deliberately targeting the practitioners of our Guangming Academy. I just saw a few students from our Guangming Academy being stopped by the city guards. It's nothing at all, but they have to say that they are suspected of colluding with the Dark Academy. The relationship between Guangming Academy and Guangming God City is not very close. At this point, we must take it more seriously. Murong pondered for a while, and then followed up from the side. Against. Is it because the Deputy Palace Lord didn't give the City Lord Cao Teng any face? Damn it, Cao Teng, the Lord of the Bright God City, I knew it wasn't a good thing. Didn't you see that sly eyebrow? It's fine if they don't find us. If they break ground on Tai Sui's head, they will beat him to death in minutes. Bai Piao raised his eyebrows, and the infinite combat power burst out from all around him, looking quite proud at the moment. It's better to have one thing less. The city guards represent the will of the Temple of the Alliance of Light after all. If there is a trouble, we are very likely to suffer. Chu Ceci opened her mouth, and while speaking, she sighed beside her. For now, the situation is relatively clear. Don't be careless, you have to collapse in all directions. Women may have to think about things in a more detailed and comprehensive way. For men, they may be more impulsive. I think Ceci is right. The less trouble, the better. The Guangming Academy in the divine city of Guangming has just been established, and it is still in a state of unsteady footing. It is better not to cause any extra problems. Mirongyu looked at Fang Fan, and then said worriedly. Don't worry, I won't be as stubborn as Bai Piao. I know it. Fang Fan nodded and said immediately. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3455. Bai Piao, I'm really not worried. This guy is just talking about it. If he is really asked to do something, he will be scared in an instant. This guy can't stand the weather. But you are different. If you go crazy, you won't even be afraid of the Heavenly King. You don't even look down on the true gods, how powerful you are. What is a mere city guard of the God of Light? No, to be precise, don't you even care about the entire Temple of the Alliance of Light, and even the Supreme Pope? Mirongyu gritted his teeth, then hummed. The more I talked, the more excited I became, and the more I talked, the more excited I got, and my expressions and gestures gradually followed. This seems very real. Fang Fan opened his mouth, not knowing what to say at this moment. This situation feels inexplicable. Now let's talk about a hammer. Am I that bloated? Fang Fan was speechless, and the corner of his mouth couldn't help twitching at this moment. Certainly. If you don't bloat, who bloats? In the entire Guangming Academy, who doesn't know about you, Fang Fan? I heard that you even killed the descendants of the Master of the Dark Academy. Wanggu, deputy head of the Dark Academy, wanted to kill you several times. Oh, by the way, there is also Chen Tianwei, the demigod dean of the Black and White Academy. You cheated him with several treasures, right? As for the other little shrimps that can't be named, there are more. Mirongyu was like a treasure. While talking, he couldn't help but rolled his eyes and said. In every way, it feels right. If it wasn't for Mirongyu's reminder, Fang Fan really didn't know that he had so many fearless achievements. Fang Fan rubbed his nose and subconsciously shrugged. It just feels so random. Along the way, I didn't feel much. After continuing to say a few words, Fang Fan was ready to go to Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. Sister Mirong, let's go together. Chu Ceci issued an invitation. I'll forget it, you go with him. There are still some things to deal with in the academy. Mirongyu raised his eyebrows, then smiled from the side. The three of Fang Fan rushed to the gate of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. From a distance, he saw that chubby figure. It's like Zhao Wei. Boss. Seeing Fang Fan's arrival, Zhao Wei's eyes lit up. At the moment, he seemed more or less excited. While talking, he immediately rushed forward, his eyes became more and more turbulent. Hey. I originally said I would take my father to find you. But Brother Bai Biao insisted that he couldn't find you, and asked me to wait for news from him. Boss. The banquet inside has already been worshipped, and we are waiting for you to take a seat. Boss, although I didn't go to the True God Cave this time, I've heard all about your deeds there. Tisk, tisk tisk, awesome boss. It's the rhythm of beating all dissatisfied. Boss. Zhao Wei's emotions seemed particularly excited. While talking, he nodded frequently, and the smiles on his face became more and more, full of emotion. In a few words, it is already the purest feeling and gesture. Very real and very clear. Although I haven't seen each other for a few days, the emotion has always seemed very real. Fang Fan's eyes fell on Zhao Wei, who was still chubby and cute. However, the clothes on his body have changed a lot. In the past, it was all about how comfortable it was, but now the clothes look very formal. A tight tuxedo, paired with handmade lambskin boots, has raised the temperament several notches. At least it looks different. I haven't seen you for a few days, the change is not small. Fang Fan nodded, then smiled. Now Zhao Wei looks more like the second generation of Shang. Hey. My father made me wear it like this. I've been sick for a long time, but I can't help it, I can only wear it like this. Hey, it's too difficult for me. Zhao Wei muttered, and then couldn't help complaining from the side. At this moment, the desire to complain is very strong. How about it? Is President Zhao in there? Fang Fan glanced inside, then shrugged. Yes, of course. I made him wait a long time ago. My father knows that you are coming, the boss, so he will cancel all the banquets. Boss, you are such a shameless person, this guy is a workaholic on weekdays. I remember that even if I was sick and about to get cold before, should he go to the banquet or go to the banquet? Why? Zhao Wei shrugged, and then continued to complain. What nonsense are you talking about? Hurry up and let the guests in. Blocked at the door. What does it look like? At this time, a fat middle-aged man came out of the room. Looking at that face, it is 7 or 8 points similar to Zhao Wei. Apparently, this is Zhao Donghuang, the president of the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. President Zhao. Fang Fan silently nodded, and then greeted him. Little friend Fang Fan. It's really you. I had no chance to meet him before, but I only learned about Fang Fan's deeds from Guz's few words. It's really extraordinary to see it now. It should be a dragon and a phoenix among people. Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, immediately began to compliment him. It has long been commonplace for these people who are in the mall to engage in commercial touting. It can even be said that this is actually an instinct. Fang Fan smiled and didn't pay much attention. He. Fang Fan, do you think I'm flattering you? Do you think my words are not sincere? Zhao Donghuang suddenly smiled. This guy seemed to have completely seen Fang Fan through. Fang Fan almost thought that he had read his own voice. Boss, don't worry. My father is just like this. Although he is a businessman, how should I put it, he has a weird personality. If he doesn't like it, even if you give him an artifact, he won't bother to praise it. But if he sees the right person, he wants to praise him to the sky every minute. And this old guy's favorite thing to do is to figure out people's hearts. Zhao Wei curled his lips, and immediately revealed the truth. That's a good character. Have your own character, only those with high moral character will have it. Chairman Zhao strategizes, is virtuous, intelligent and martial, approachable, well-informed, independent, talented. Bai Piao suddenly stepped forward, and immediately launched a wave of flattery and flattery. I used all the idioms I knew. This scene seemed terrible. Fang Fan squinted his eyes and glanced, this guy, something is not quite right. On weekdays, Bai Piao only knows how to hate people. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3456. How did this guy start to engage in such nonsense today? It's just that this still sounds a little unserious. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, was stunned for a moment, and then couldn't help but take another look at Bai Piao, feeling somewhat surprised at the moment. This guy is interesting. Who is this? Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, raised his eyebrows and asked immediately. President Zhao, my name is Bai Biao. Let me introduce myself, I am Big Brother Fang Fan. I brought Fang Fan on the road, and I personally have strong investment and training capabilities. Fang Fan is one of the representatives. Of course, I have trained countless Tian Xiao, Fang Fan can only be regarded as a relatively ordinary one. Also, I once helped Fang Fan start several 100,000 high-grade Star Core level gamblers, and successfully made blood profits as high as 99%. President Zhao, do you have any titles similar to investment consultants in your Tianlan Chamber of Commerce? I think I'm perfectly capable of. At that time, President Zhao, you can boldly take out all the Star Cores in your hands. I will invest in you and guarantee blood. Bai Biao still wants to meet. Good guy. This guy actually had the same idea. It's purely because of Zhao Donghuang's identity, and he wants to follow suit, and wants to join the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce to realize his grand blueprint plan in business. This set of rhetoric made Zhao Donghuang a little confused. Good guy, you started recommending yourself as soon as we met? It sounds a bit unreal. It's just confusing. That feeling is very unique. Invisibly, mixed with a sense of treachery. The more you look at it, the more uncomfortable it looks. Cough. Little friend Fang Fan, you are really humorous, friend. I heard from Serena, do you have a batch of goods to ship? Come in with me. The banquet is ready. What's the matter? Let's talk slowly. I don't know if this is. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, looked at Chu Ceci, a little unfamiliar. Just when Fang Fan wanted to introduce himself, Chu Ceci had already introduced himself. Hello President Zhao, Fang Fan is my husband, my name is Chu Ceci, you can call me Ceci, please take care of me. Chu Ceci smiled and said calmly. There is no doubt that the graceful posture is revealed. So it's Miss Chu. Little friend Fang Fan is really lucky. If the old man is not mistaken, Miss Chu's cultivation is already in the middle level saint realm. And the surge of spiritual power is relatively large, and it may be promoted again in the near future. In this way, maybe soon, he will be a high-ranking saint. As expected of Fang Fan's little friend's Taoist partner, this cultivation talent is second to none in the world. Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, had his eyes lit up, and he couldn't help but exclaimed. A genius is destined to gain more attention, there is no doubt about it. After watching Chu Ceci, Zhao Donghuang couldn't help but focus on his precious son Zhao Wei, and his face darkened immediately. You are all of the same bone age, why is there such a big gap? They all cultivated in the Guangming Academy, why are you still stuck in the one-star sanctuary? Really are. Why? I'm not short of your cultivation resources, everything is the best, why don't you just improve your cultivation? Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, became more and more emotional as he talked, and then couldn't help scratching his scalp, looking deeply lamented. Just like this posture, the more you look at it, the more uncomfortable it becomes. Can this be my fault? A dragon begets a dragon, a phoenix begets a phoenix, the son of a mouse can make holes. Your cultivation talent is rubbish, and you still expect my cultivation talent to be good. Isn't this all inherited from your cultivation talent? If you had already been promoted to a demigod when you gave birth to me, then I can still be a demigod, no matter how bad it is, I won't be far behind. To put it bluntly, your background is too bad. Zhao Wei muttered, and then couldn't help complaining from the side. That said, it's pretty straightforward. I have to say, it's pretty real. Basically, the words can follow in place. That's exactly what happened. Zhao Donghuang. How can I give birth to a son? I obviously gave birth to an enemy for myself. Good guy, now that we've come to this point, what else do you want to do? Do you have to follow along? Follow up and do something? You can shut up. You can't do anything, you can eat whatever you want. Let's go. Go in and eat. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, sighed, and immediately led the way ahead. Fang Fan watched from behind, more or less amused. Good guy, what a good guy. The sense of picture is too strong. This is really interesting for father and son. However, children who grow up in this atmosphere should have a cheerful personality. Entering the interior of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, in a specific room, hundreds of dishes have been placed on the table. In the eyes, the big dragon head is still eye-catching. Randomly gave another whole phoenix. There are all kinds of rare and exotic animals. In the room, the smell is tangy. Gudong. Bai Piao couldn't help swallowing a mouthful of saliva, his eyes gradually drifted away, and his taste buds were about to explode. This taste is too amazing. I used to think that the dragon liver, phoenix gall, and tai sui bone on the second floor of the school cafeteria were pretty good, but compared with the ingredients here, it's still a notch lower. And the level of this chef is obviously higher, each one is the best of the best. Powerful. Brother Zhao Wei, I now know why you have grown so fat. If I eat like this every day, I won't be surprised if I don't gain weight. It's good to have money. I can become a billionaire anytime. Bai Piao nodded excitedly, and then couldn't help turning her eyes towards the surroundings, and her thoughts also flew up. It doesn't feel so real. It is more than words. Thank you, President, for your hospitality. Fang Fan looked at Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, and then nodded slightly. This kind of hospitality is obviously not low. When this table comes down, to be honest, no one with thousands of high-grade star cores really can't get down. This is the life of Shen Hao, one meal, thousands of high-grade star cores, enough for ordinary people to cultivate for 10 lifetimes. In any era, class divisions are clearly defined. Hee hee. Little friend Fang Fan is too polite. I may still have the opportunity to invite you to dinner today, but in 100 years or 1,000 years, I'm afraid there will already be one world and one earth between you and me. At that time, we will not be the same. In addition to the star core, I only have the star core. There are too many star cores to use up, but so what? Everything is just a mirror image. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3457. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, suddenly said with emotion, it seems that there are many different thoughts and ideas in his heart. It's strange to say this in a serious manner. It's really different. Feeling strange and inexplicable, I don't know what to say. Fang Fan doubts that this guy is in Versailles. There are too many star cores to spend, and it seems to be a very sad thing. Fang Fan really wanted to say, if you can't spend all the money, I can do it for you. President Zhao, if you are under a lot of pressure because you have too many star cores, I can help you relieve the pressure. Give me all the star cores, and I will spend them for you. Bai Piao suddenly said such a sentence. What Fang Fan wanted to say was expressed in substantive language. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, was stunned for a moment, and then laughed heartily. At this moment, he felt that Bai Piao was very talented in humor. That said, interesting. Humorous. Really humorous. Ha ha ha. Little friend Fang Fan has such a friend by his side, so he must not be lonely on weekdays. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, smiled and said. Why? You may think that what I just said is a bit exaggerated. But the higher you go, the more you can discover that in this world, enough star cores are enough. If there are too many, what's the use? After all, this is still a world where strength is the most important thing. Actually, as far as the Temple of the Light Alliance or the Temple of Darkness is concerned, any one of their forces can crush and destroy my Tianlan Chamber of Commerce more than 10 times. No matter how big my business is at Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. But in their eyes, I'm just a businessman after all. They will give me a certain degree of respect and value because of the commercial resources in my hands, but if their interests are really involved, they will not hesitate to suppress our Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. Even if our Tianlan Chamber of Commerce has been beaten and humiliated countless times, we can only smile in the end. Hee. In this big world, he is still number one in realm. These are the future kings of this great world. I don't know if you are willing to join my Tianlan Chamber of Commerce and become the guest secretary of my Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. I would like to invite the two of you with a salary of 100,000 top-grade star cores every 100 years. Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, suddenly became excited, and then looked at Fang Fan and Chu Ceci very excitedly. Originally, he just wanted to win over Fang Fan, but when he suddenly saw Chu Ceci, who was of a higher level, he fell in love with him again. Such a proud son of heaven, as long as he does not perish in the future, he will surely be a demigod. And if he was promoted to the demigod realm, he must be a rather tyrannical existence among demigods. If the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce wants to gain a foothold in this big world, it must have enough bargaining chips. It is too difficult to win over those demigods who have already become famous, and they basically have their own strange thoughts. It is really unrealistic to ask them to provide shelter for Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. If these famous demigods are recruited, it may even endanger the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce itself. As far as Zhao Donghuang is concerned, he is more willing to cultivate these heaven's favorites. Solicit them when they are just showing their talents but are not very strong. When they are really strong in the future, they will definitely be grateful. At that time, they only need to be named in the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, which is enough to form a strong deterrent force. I am willing. President Zhao, why don't you look at me? Bai Biao twitched her lips, and complained from the side. Discrimination. Just now Zhao Donghuang was actually referring to Fang Fan and Chu Ceci. As for Bai Biao, well, subconsciously ignore it. Brother Bai Biao, let's eat dragon claws. Zhao Wei shook his muscular body, then pulled Bai Biao up, and started eating and drinking. In this situation, it looks very beautiful. The rest is not important, it is nothing. Fang Fan and Chu Ceci were both lost in thought at the moment. Chu Ceci looked at Fang Fan, the meaning was obvious, let Fang Fan make the decision. If Fang Fan is willing to be the guest secretary of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, then she will. If Fang Fan refuses, she will naturally sing along. This feeling is very real. 100,000 high-grade star cores, 100-year salary. There are 1,000 high-grade star cores in almost a year. To be honest, this treatment is already top-notch. Even Shui Wanren, the deputy head of Guangming Academy, couldn't get such treatment at all. After all, for Xiao Yuan, a practitioner who takes 10,000 years at every turn, 100 years is fleeting. Moreover, although Fang Fan and Chu Ceci's fighting power is not bad, to those real bosses, they are actually small shrimps. To put it bluntly, Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, is investing in the future. He is optimistic about the future of Fang Fan and Chu Ceci, so he wants to establish a good relationship in advance. If Fang Fan is strong, the price may not be able to please, and it is unlikely that he will agree to be a guest for the Star Corps. But at the moment, for Fang Fan, 100,000 high-grade star cores is not a small amount. Besides, it's okay to just be a guest. For him at the moment, being able to cooperate with Tianlan Chamber of Commerce is a win-win relationship. The future can be expected. Fang Fan pondered for a while. The more he thought about it, the more he felt so. Many thoughts gathered in the mind and gradually sank into meditation. Fang Fan, there is no need for any pressure. Cough. I just propose. Even Fang Fan and MS Chu don't like my small temple of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, we can still be friends in the future. Fang Fan, don't let other things affect your judgment. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, hastily added another sentence. These words seem very clever, not only showing their own attitude, but also being able to properly win over. As expected of someone who can sit on the high position of president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, this situation is different. President Zhao was kindly invited, how could I not agree? Furthermore, Chairman Zhao offered such generous terms. If I refuse, wouldn't it seem a little ignorant? Just forget about the salary. When we have the ability to receive the salary, let's receive it. Now, just name it. Fang Fan smiled silently, and then expressed his attitude. How can this be? The salary must be given more. Otherwise, the outside world will say that I, Zhao Donghuang, have treated the proud son of Guangming Academy harshly. This is 200,000 top-grade star cores, and it's the guest salary of Fang Fan and Miss Chu for the next 100 years. I also hope that little friend Fang Fan won't refuse. Don't refute my face. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3458. While talking, Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, quickly took out a storage ring. If you want to win people's hearts, you can't search for it. Zhao Donghuang understood this truth very well. The situation here is basically more realistic. If that's the case, then I won't be polite. If Tianlan Chamber of Commerce has any requests in the future, just ask. Fang Fan nodded, it was considered to have initially reached a consensus. In the name of Keqing, in the future, when the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce is in a life and death crisis, it is enough to help, and there is basically nothing to do on weekdays. This is a long-term investment. Hee. Little friend Fang Fan is really cheerful. This is the supreme guest token of my Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. You too, please accept. By holding this supreme guest token, you can enjoy a 30% discount on any product in the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, held his head high and said proudly. Unlimited purchases. Fang Fan glanced at Zhao Donghuang, and then a smile appeared on his face. You must know that on many products, the cost price is more than 30% off. If everything is paid at a 30% discount, wouldn't Tianlan Chamber of Commerce directly lose money to Grandma's house? Cough. Theoretically unlimited purchases. But it can't be too exaggerated. As long as it is within the tolerance of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, it will be fine. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, shrugged, then nodded. At this moment, Zhao Donghuang's mood also seemed quite joyful. With heaven's favorites like Fang Fan and Chu Sisi recruited, the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce will be safe and sound for tens of thousands of years to come. Opening the door to do business is all about popularity. Woo 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 woo. CAO. Supreme Token. The Supreme Token of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. President Zhao, you can't favor one person over another. Everyone came here together, and I was the one who set the bridge for this business. You gave all the benefits to Fang Fan. Woo. While gnawing on the dragon's leg, Bai Piao couldn't help complaining. Unfair. This is too unfair. Can you hang on a little bit? Fang Fan and Chu Sisi turned their heads away, as if they didn't know this guy. This guy is so rowdy. For it. Makes sense. This golden guest status token, please give it to Your Excellency. Your Excellency's humor is really extraordinary. Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, didn't say much, and seemed quite generous. Tianlan Chamber of Commerce's golden guest identity token. Tisk, that's not bad. With a 10% discount. Thank you. Don't worry, if anyone is against you in the future, even if it is a true god, I can block a knife for you and protect your life. Bai Biao patted his chest and said proudly. Although there are indeed some elements of boasting in the words, it also shows unparalleled self-confidence invisibly. After some talking, we gradually entered the topic. While eating a big meal, they were trading divine bones. I've heard from Will about my supernatural. Since everyone is a family now, let's not talk about each other. Don't worry about how many god bones, take them all out. I'll give Fang Fan the highest price in the market. Hee hee. My Tianlan Chamber of Commerce still has this ability. Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, held his head high and looked quite proud. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then tentatively said, maybe the number is a bit too much. President Zhao can help me arrange as much as I can, just be honest, don't hesitate just because of our relationship. Fang Fan subconsciously followed up with a reminder. Hee hee. Little friend Fang Fan still looks down on me, Zhao Donghuang. Although I, Zhao Donghuang, can't be regarded as successful and famous, I still have this bit of authority. Fang Fan, just take out the god bone. If I can't eat it, you'll hit me in the face again. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, held his head high and said calmly. In his opinion, even if the number is more, how much can there be? 180 roots? Is this the limit? And I'm afraid they are basically demigod bones. To be honest, this thing is really worthless. 1,800 high-grade star cores and one demigod bone are just a meal. Boom. Fang Fan put all the sacred bones of the storage ring on the open space beside them, and they seemed to be divided into 3 piles at the moment. A pile of demigod-level divine bones, about 5,000 bones. A bunch of pseudo-god level ones, about 300 or so. Hayes bunch is quasi-god level, about 40 or so. Fang Fan has changed a few of the better ones and put them away, which may still be useful for future promotions. As for the rest, they are completely redundant. Zhao Donghuang opened his mouth, and the dragon meat was hanging on his mouth, unable to swallow it for a long time. Although I didn't count them carefully, the size of the god's bone is already worshipped there. What I said just now is indeed a bit early. The feeling of being slapped in the face is really not good. President Zhao, let me give you a round number. 5,000 demigod level bones, 300 pseudo-god level bones, and 40 quasi-god level bones. Just follow this number. As for the price, Chairman Zhao can figure it out. Fang Fan nodded silently, then said sincerely. The most important thing now is to replace the divine bone in front of him with a star core. Cough. Cough cough cough. Zhao Donghuang first coughed a few times to ease his embarrassment. Then what? Little friend Fang Fan really surprised me. I thought it was just 180 god bones. I didn't expect that there are so many of them, that Fang Fan said. So many god bones, how many god tombs have to be dug out? Zhao Donghuang raised his eyebrows from time to time, and then sighed. In a few words, it is already unclear. This feeling is particularly unique. Thinking also gradually became confused. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just complicated. By chance, I got it by chance in the True God Cave. How much President Zhao can eat, just say it. The rest, I will arrange it myself. President Zhao doesn't need to be under pressure. Fang Fan seemed very cheerful, he nodded at the side while talking. With thousands of divine bones, it would be extremely stressful for anyone. Little friend Fang Fan, although this is the first time we met, we hit it off right away. If you have anything to say, I'll just say it. I can eat these divine bones. But you also know that the reason why the price of divine bones is expensive is that rare things are more expensive. If so many divine bones slowly flow into the market, even if the inflow is very slow, it will definitely affect the price of the divine bones. After all, those who need divine bones to comprehend are those who are demigods, or those who are high-level saints and supreme saints. This quantity is very limited. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3459. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, said directly. In fact, this is also the fact. If there are only 180 divine bones, relying on the powerful ability of the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, they can still be used to maintain. But, is this a matter of 180 divine bones? Thousands of roots. The pressure came in an instant. Even with Zhao Donghuang's ability, it's hard to bear. Of course I know this. It's okay for President Zhao to be blunt. What price can you offer, or how much can you eat? Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then asked directly again. Things have come to this point, the situation is basically more clear. The rest of those who have nothing seem to be unnecessary, and they are nothing. This. According to the normal price, 5,000 demigod-level bones, with a unit price of 1,000 high-grade star cores, is 5 million high-grade star cores, but there are too many. These demigod-level bones are mainly for those high-level. The Holy Venerable or the Supreme Holy Venerable is used for enlightenment. Relatively speaking, it is better to sell this. The price is 1 million, and I will eat it with 4 million high-grade star cores. 300 pseudo-god level bones, for many demigods. This is a good thing that many demigods are rushing to, but demigods, there are only so many, hundreds, too many. Like pseudo-god level bones, the unit price is 10,000 to 20,000 high-grade star cores, there is no doubt about this. If it is well managed and placed in the auction, it may not even be possible to bid for 20,000 to 30,000 high-grade star cores, but it is still the same reason as before, the quantity factor so crucial. So I can only offer a unit price of 10,000 high-grade star cores, and these 300 fake god-level bones are worth 3 million high-grade star cores. The last is these 40 quasi-god-level bones. These are all first-class good things. Quasi-god, that is the closest existence to the true God. It also contains the most profound meanings of the true gods. Even if it is 40, there is no need to worry about selling it. According to the unit price of 100,000 high-grade star cores, this is 4 million high-grade star cores. Based on this calculation, I can produce a total of 11 million high-grade star cores. Call. Little friend Fang Fan, this is already the limit I can accept. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, gritted his teeth, and while talking, his eyes flickered with brilliance. Fang Fan knew very well that what he said was very true. In this regard, there is really no need to lie. And this price was obviously higher than Fang Fan's expectation. At first, Fang Fan thought that with 10 million high-grade star cores, he would be able to make a move. But when I was joking with that deputy palace master Shui Wanren, I even mentioned this matter. 11 million is already a surprise. Father, how did you click and search? What 11 million? Just put it all together, let's forget about 20 million. This is my boss. Zhao Wei held his head high, then looked at his father Zhao Donghuang and began to complain. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, raised his eyebrows subconsciously. At this moment, he felt an urge to beat this traitor to death. Damn it! This prodigal son. Although your father is the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, he hasn't grown to that extent, okay. Little friend Fang Fan, look. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, sighed, and then focused his attention on Fang Fan again. He also didn't want to have any conflicts with a proud man like Fang Fan because of this kind of thing. No problem. At this price, I am already very satisfied. Thank you President Zhao for your help. I, Fang Fan, have written down this favor. I'm afraid there is no profit in this. President Zhao, if there is a loss, please tell me in time. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then added. Anyway, you can't let others post money to help you sell things. Don't worry, I still know a lot about this. There is still a little profit margin. If the operation is good, maybe we can make a time difference, and then find a group of receivers to sell these god bones in batches. At that time, our Tianlan Chamber of Commerce may take advantage of this opportunity to make a fortune. I would also like to thank little friend Fang Fan for giving me this opportunity. Little friend Fang Fan, I have sent people out to prepare the Star Core. When you leave, the Star Core will be in place. I hope we can cooperate more in the future. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, smiled slightly, and then said quite sincerely. Now that the work is done, it's time to get drunk. It's quite an artistic conception to make a wrong cup. Little friend Fang Fan, my son, his talent is really not good. I admit, this is following me. Why? But which father doesn't have the heart to hope that his son will become a dragon? From now on, I will entrust this kid to you. Hey, I don't expect this guy to achieve anything in the future, as long as he can reach 1% of your level, little friend Fang Fan. At least in the future, I will have the power to protect myself. Even if the businessman is the best, it's just a fish in the mouth of those strong people. Ha 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 ha. Zhao Donghuang, the president of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, suddenly laughed sadly, as if he had tasted the bitterness and helplessness in it. At this moment, he had many special thoughts and thoughts deep in his heart. Right now, it's psychedelic. President Zhao doesn't intend to let Zhao Wei study business by your side? This huge Tianlan Chamber of Commerce must have successors. Fang Fan was stunned for a moment, and asked curiously. Let Zhao Wei follow him. What is the way? Such a big chamber of commerce, just cut it off like this? Why? In the past, I might have thought it would be a good choice for him to inherit the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce. But now, I don't think so. I don't want my pain to be inherited by him. What's the use of starting a business? Earn Star Core. But the Star Core I left for him, he can't use it up even in 100 lifetimes. So he no longer needs to run around for the Star Core. I just hope that he can improve his cultivation, strengthen himself, and then do something he likes to do. This kid doesn't like these intrigues in business. Let him go. On the contrary, Zhao Donghuang seemed very open-minded, with a feeling of being overwhelmed by everything. While talking, Zhao Donghuang raised his eyebrows silently, and his expression and posture were vividly displayed. This idea is indeed very real. The Star Core that can't be used up in 100 lifetimes, how many are there? CAO. Such a big chamber of commerce, just let it go. How many Star Cores do you have to lose? President Zhao, don't you like Star Core? Bai Biao swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and asked with emotion. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3460. I have basically never touched the star core. I am not interested in the star core. To me, it's just a series of numbers, cold numbers, meaningless. Zhao Donghuang, the chairman of Tianlan Chamber of Commerce, started Versailles. While talking, he immediately held his head high and his chest up. His attitude was quite calm. Just, good guy. Bai Biao went mad with jealousy. President Zhao, do you plan to recruit another adopted son to inherit your great will? What do you think of me? Bai Biao licked his face and walked over, then said seriously. Although I know this is a joke, but somehow it feels very gimmicky. This guy Bai Biao is absolutely perfect. This little friend Bai Biao is really humorous. It's not the same as the previous humor. Tisk, interesting. Zhao Donghuang shrugged, and then said with emotion. It was a relatively perfect meal. After finishing the banquet, Zhao Donghuang pushed Zhao Wei outside. According to what he said, this brat doesn't have to come back in the future, and Fang Fan can do whatever he wants. Zhao Donghuang's meaning is obvious. He firmly believes in the truth that those who are close to Zhu are red and those who are close to ink are black. He fell in love with Fang Fan's great future, and also felt that the world of the heavens in the future might be Fang Fan's world. In this way, by arranging his son in advance, he can still lead a wave. Come to the Tianlan Chamber of Commerce in Guangming God City. In addition to bringing Zhao Wei back, there is also a huge sum of 11 million high-grade star cores. Boy Fang Fan, share the spoils. I'm going to send it. My millionaire dream is about to come true. Boy Fang Fan. Are you sure you don't want to give this envoy a little more? If it weren't for this envoy who has been acting in front of Chairman Zhao Donghuang this time, do you think Chairman Zhao Donghuang would have offered you such a high price? Fang Fan boy, you see, there are more than 10 million high-grade star cores here. It's not too much to give me a little more. Boy Fang Fan, I don't want too much, just give me 1 million. Boy Fang Fan. Bai Biao licked his lips, his eyes were almost red. This guy's love for the star core is beyond Fang Fan's imagination. According to what I said before, the 5% share. This is 550,000 high-grade star cores, and it's for you. Fang Fan curled his lips, and directly divided 550,000 high-grade star cores and put them in Bai Biao's hands. It doesn't cost this guy to accumulate so many star cores, and he doesn't know what his hobby is, so he insists on accumulating. This is just a string of numbers in the true sense, a string of emotionless numbers. Such numbers are placed here, to a certain extent, they are really meaningless. Why? Boy Fang Fan, you still buckle like before. I'm afraid I'll let the envoy make a little more money. Speaking of which, didn't you promise to give me the bone of President Chu? At that time, I resisted such a fierce sky thunder for your woman. Bai Biao just wants to get more star cores now. Isn't it inside? Otherwise, with your god bone, you can get at most 100,000 high-grade star cores. How? Not satisfied yet? Then carefully divide according to the share. Brother Bai Biao, when will you change your greedy temper? Furthermore, it's really useless for you to save so many star cores. It's better to take it out and let me keep it for you. I calculate the interest for you every year, to achieve the ultimate meaning of star core birth star core. Fang Fan nodded, and then said very sincerely. Isn't this delicious? I believe you ghost. You're a bad old man. Bai Biao rolled his eyes, then turned around directly. It was nothing. Can you think so much more? Nothing. Well, the star core is still the most practical to put in your pocket. Back off. Back off. Short Pusher's frame is here. How dare you stop it? Get out. Get out. Untouchables. A bunch of untouchables. In the distance, there was a sudden noise, and then a pair of cavalrymen were seen clearing the roadblock ahead. The long whip in his hand whipped around without restraint, and his attitude seemed extremely arrogant. As he spoke, his surging posture exploded in full swing. Seeing that the long whip was about to fall on Chu Ceci, Fang Fan stepped forward indifferently, then held it directly, and suddenly shrank back. Boom! The little leader on the steed fell directly to the ground. What are you doing? Looking for death? Dare to hurt the captain? The little leader in silver armor was immediately furious, and then clamored to come over to do something. Roll! Fang Fan stared at him with one look, and the endless momentum was revealed all over his body. Now, his temper really has gathered too much. Otherwise, in the current situation, I don't know how many times I have beaten him to death. To put it bluntly, shameless and despicable to the extreme. It's disgusting to look at. What? You? Hateful. Boy, I'm afraid you don't know whose frame you are blocking. I am guarding the frame of Master Ye Wengsu, the young official of Guangming God City. What kind of thing are you, you dare to be arrogant in front of Ye Wengsu? Kowtow and admit your mistake now, maybe you can save a dog's life, otherwise, you will die. The little leader in silver armor looked extremely domineering, and then pulled out his backer. Fang Fan walked in front of him indifferently, as if he didn't hear him. His footsteps seemed very frivolous from the beginning to the end. Never cared about these bells and whistles at all. Fang Fan's silence actually made the little silver-armored leader swell even more. He drew out the saber from his waist and slashed straight at Fang Fan. This guy looks arrogant, but in fact he is just a 5-star sanctuary cultivator. Fang Fan can suppress him with a little help of the power of the wild gods and servants. Fang Fan turned sideways, making the little silver-armored leader's attack miss, and then grabbed the weapon in his hand with one hand, and then sent it into his body. Ah! Ah! It hurts, it hurts. You dare to hurt me. Go. Go. Kill him. Kill him for me. The little leader of the silver armor trembled his lips, then looked at the weapon on his chest, with a look of rage on his face. The soldiers around immediately started to move around. Stop! From the carriage frame, a young man in white clothes walked out, holding a folding fan, and the clothes fluttering around him in the wind. He looked a bit like an outsider. In addition, the sense of bells and whistles is very strong. Scan the past at a glance, and the sense of visual impact will explode. Fang Fan frowned, his eyes were calm.